Being on Andrew Schulz Flagrant 2 could be a dream for a lot of podcasters and entertainers because he has a really huge platform and it could pretty much like skyrocket your career. However, for these two podcasters particularly, being on the show was a nightmare and it actually ruined their career and ruined their public image. The podcasters in question is Shxtsngigs, which stands for Ish and Giggles. This duo blew up popularity-wise around the same time that Fresh and Fit blew up and the whole Red Pill movement was going on. Now, the reason why they were able to skyrocket so fast, one, their personalities are infectious, but like women sort of view them as the opposite of Fresh and Fit and other Red Pill podcasters, right? Women will often call them the one and only safe space male podcast on the internet. They will say these dudes are non-problematic. You know, they're the only male podcasters they can listen to. Many women on Twitter and in these black spaces will refer to them as the only male podcast they can listen to because they just have the non-problematic, non-toxic, you know, and they sort of serve as like an alternative to the Red Pill content. That worked out very well for them. They amassed a subscriber count of close to 2 million subscribers, so they're doing pretty well. However, they're based in the UK. So, you know, you can only grow so much, right? So, you know, after doing pretty well, they decided, hey, listen, we need to do an American tour where we go on these other podcasts with other American podcasters, you know, and sort of expose ourselves to a whole new crowd. So that's what they did. And one of the first podcasts they stopped at was Andrew Schulz Flagrant. Now, they were having a conversation of preferences and interracial dating. And while on that discussion, they began to discuss this black girlfriend upgrade being a thing.
What is the black girlfriend effect?
This is you don't know about this.
Glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up.
Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that. They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking time. That's why they got to shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends, they
grow a beard because there's more cushion when they get slapped. That's
hilarious.
I think the black girlfriend effect, it might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective.
Yeah. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Who gets
that means white.
Hey, let me get the US translation.
Kendrick fans, get them!
We love them all.
That's royal English for.
I don't have a PhD in psychology. I'm not a body language expert, but it looked like they were having a good old time. It looked like they were having a grand old time. It looked like they were chatting with the boys, having a good old boys conversation that they were thoroughly enjoying. Now, I'm not sure if that clips page belongs to them, but you know, a clip page dedicated to them posted it up. So it would appear they had no issues with the conversation. Now, Andrew Schulz saying, you know, that the black girlfriend effect, you know, or the white dudes being bald or super stressed out is a little dicey. I'll admit it, you feel me? It's a little dicey for that community, right? But if your entire audience isn't contingent to catering to a certain demographic, then it's not really that dicey and it's not really that offensive. However, when that clip began to circulate, the audience for Ish and Giggles, they wasn't feeling it because their entire audience or most of their audience are black women who believe that their podcast is a safe space for them to come and enjoy, all right, positive masculinity. So when they seen that, they were expecting for Ish and Giggles to check Andrew Schulz. And when they didn't and they indulged and they laughed, well, they took to Twitter in an uproar. As you can see, people were extremely unhappy. Some even saying that they use black women for content, but don't stick up for black women. Others are saying, laughing along, it's a shame, yuck. People were disgusted. Black Twitter taking notice of a podcast conversation and making mountains out of a molehill isn't new, but the best way to deal with it is to sort of just ignore it. Right? Like, bro, like you got like 2 million subscribers, bro. Yo, you could weather out the storm for like 3 days until Black Twitter finds something else to eat up. But they decided they was going to address it, and they was pretty much going to throw Andrew Schulz under the bus as if they wasn't engaged and enjoying the conversation. So they start off by saying that apparently like they were like super offended and like super weirded out, by the Andrew Schulz comment, that they felt like they were in a position to where they could either fight Andrew Schulz or take flight. And they chose to take flight by laughing, the uncomfortability out of their system.
Before we get into today's episode, quick PSA, quick acknowledgement. So if you know, you know. If you don't, that's fine. But we just wanted to address something that's happening at the minute. This past weekend, there's been a couple of clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. And there were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specifically pertaining to black women. And in the clip, Andrew was making a joke. I'm not even going to get into specifics. Making a frankly racist joke. And
yo, what? Race? What? Yo, they're not saying, the joke was edgy, a little insensitive, little out of order. They went to the full insist. They're saying, this joke was racist? Yo, do you see what being beholden to a particular mob would do to you? You see, these dudes are slaves to Black Twitter. Their content is catered around Black Twitter. Like, they have to walk on eggshells to avoid pissing off Black Twitter. So that's why they can't. I'm sure these dudes are great guys who are just regular dudes who may have some edgy jokes here and there. But because they can't be themselves, you have this. Where, you laugh at a joke that was funny at the time, because Andrew was cooking a little bit. All right, your audience is tripping, cool, but to come and try to paint that man who offered up an invitation to you on his platform, he was nice to you, he was good to you, and to turn against him and betray him and throw him to the wolves because your audience is pissed at you is crazy.
We were laughing at it. And to give, there's first of all, before we get into specifics or anything like that, obviously there's just literally no excuse. There is no excuse.
Agreed.
And fight or flight is a real thing. It is, fight or flight is a real thing, and it's so not easy to say, but when you're in those situations, you look at it through a lens of bro, if it was me, I promise you I'll stand up, I'll kick them cameras down, I would smack homeboy in the face, I would say this, I would do that. But when you're in there, you're in shock.
You're in shock, and all you want to do is move on.
Move on is the word, bro. All you want to do is fucking move on. Just move on to the next thing. Just move on to the next thing. We had to say a few times, bro, just move on. Just move on.
So, now listen, I'm not going to act like I don't know what they were trying to say. What I would say, though, is even involving fight or flight is crazy. Now, we do understand what you're trying to say, but fight or flight is related to you feeling danger, feeling harm, feeling a threat. And, you either have to back away or have to address it. Andrew making jokes, I don't think that's him putting you in an uncomfortable enough situation to where you can compare it to fight or flight. It's crazy. I think it's crazy, and mostly everybody thinks it's crazy. People on Black Twitter is letting it be known that their apology is not accepted, right? They're not forgiven, and they want them absolutely canceled, and they want them out of here. So essentially, they threw their friend under the bus to, I guess, appease to a certain demographic that isn't forgiven. They're not going to, if you know anything about Black Twitter, bro, Black Twitter is not going to forgive you. It's not a forgiving place. So now they've essentially burned both bridges, one with Andrew and one with Black Twitter. But it didn't stop here. After their apology and essentially them trying to put everything on Andrew Schulz and throw him under the bus and act as if they were appalled that Andrew Schulz could even think that way, well, Black Twitter began to do more digging in these dudes' content history, and they found another interview during their U.S. trip where essentially they were saying that Atlanta, the Black Mecca, they didn't have any baddies there. They didn't see any baddies in Atlanta whatsoever, which sort of hinted towards what their preference in women is according to Black Twitter. Now, I'm not looking too deep into it because, quite frankly, I don't care about other men preferences. But people found this clip very interesting. Taking into account, they blamed everything on Andrew Schulz.
In Atlanta, I've seen the least baddies so far.
Oh,
Thank God we ain't from here.
I'm a Texas girl. You ain't offending me none.
You see, they ain't say Houston.
We've still got a couple days. Maybe we'll find out. But yeah. I've seen like 2 or 3.
Hey, but what is y'all's type though?
Bad is the type.
Facts.
So what makes a girl bad?
It varies though.
It matters how you own it. It can be a skinny girl who wears the fuck out of being a skinny girl. And then you've got a thick thing who just owns the shit out of being a thick thing. It's bad is bad is bad.
That's a PR answer.
A PR answer.
They're all beautiful. If you have,
I'm not saying everyone's beautiful. I just told you Atlanta's clapped. I never said everyone's beautiful. I just said I'm not seeing anybody's here.
You know what's funny about Atlanta though? Atlanta has a lot of transplants. So a lot of the people that live here, like you rarely run into people when you're out and stuff that are from Atlanta. Like the real Atlanta people, they be in the trenches, like off of Cascade.
we about to get jumped next time we go
Off
out.
of Cleveland Ave, that's what they be.
Get
What?
jumped. We live here, man.
I don't go to Cleveland Ave. I'm not getting jumped.
Them acting as if they're so well-mannered, they can't even fathom Andrew Schulz making those jokes while they go on a podcast and openly state that all the women in a particular city like Atlanta, which by the way is the Black Mecca, the Black capital, that all the women in that city is ugly and chopped. One, aren't you the protectors of all women? Why are you speaking on women on podcasts, bruh? Aren't you the podcast where they can go to for a safe space? Huh? Wait, I'm confused, right? Right? Because, if these dudes were just themselves, which I do think, if they were just themselves, they would be very pleasant to listen to. It seems like 2 regular dudes who have been forced into the corner to act like they are virtuous and they are holier than thou. And, they have to operate on a frequency that's up here. When, nah, bruh, they can just be themselves and say, I'm not going to be held hostage by the woke mob or Black Twitter anymore, bruh. I'm going to break through. But it didn't stop at that particular clip. Black Twitter found another clip where the light-skinned dude is essentially saying, listen, man, all right, Black women bully me. They cause me trauma. You would think this was like an episode of like Rollo Tomasi, right? Like you would think this was like vintage Sneeko.
When I was in school, there was a group of black girls in my year that would bully me religiously. It didn't fucking bother me because they were hideous anyway. I used to gun them hideous. So fam, on a daily, it would be like, they used to call me half-breed. They would say my dad is a sellout. They would say like, obviously like being mixed race, they'll say you're mixed up, you're confused.
What the fuck, man?
Begging, trying to be black when you're not. All sorts from black girls. All sorts. And obviously I had to chuck it back. So I apologize to anyone if I offended you like peripherally when I was gunning for these man, but I had to chuck it back because obviously, it was peak. Sam, why your dad's a sellout, innit? Only likes white girls. That's mad.
That's crazy.
Like, where is this coming
Where's
from?
this coming from? Yeah.
That appears to be an older clip prior to them getting their new set, the upgrade in equipment. It looks like they were just speaking about their feelings and their experiences and their trauma. And that's okay. You don't need to cater or protect everybody's feelings to cater to a certain demographic. It's dumb and it doesn't make sense. All right. Now, his former classmates were in the comment section hating, but listen, man, I don't give like clout chasers any type of. Listen, if somebody like famous or big, right, like blow up, and like you're from like their past, and you trying to come and try to like expose. I don't give that no light, bro. I always feel like that was the most corniest thing in the world, bro. Like some clowns try to do that to me, but then it turns out they were all clowns and frauds. So then it's kind of like okay, right, like. Y'all chose their sides, and now they got exposed. And now look, I'm standing because I told the truth, right? And it took a lot of people some time to realize that as well, right? But yeah, bruh. I would just say, brothers, y'all got to handle this, man. All right. And now you burn a bridge with Andrew Schulz, so hopefully you don't burn any more bridges with anybody else, man. But yeah, this is insane. Y'all let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think about this? All right. Do you guys think these dudes handled it well? Do y'all think they did anything wrong during the Andrew Schulz Flagrant episode? Let me know, right? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here somewhere on my screen to find out how the Breakfast Club got embarrassed and humiliated again mid-interview by this guest. I'm going to see you guys in this video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.